Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at every single mini Naboo N1 Starfighter that LEGO has ever released, and some they haven't released. A couple of these I bought specifically for this video, so you could help out by liking and subscribing, so hopefully someday I can get monetized and financially recover from the 85 cents that I invested in the mini advent calendar build. And we will get right into it. First one we're going to be taking a look at here is going to be set 9674. It was released in 2012 and it would be Naboo Starfighter and Naboo. It was part of this little planet series that they were doing back then, which I don't think ultimately panned out too well, but I would probably do better nowadays since it had like this little minifigure stand and a figure with it and the custom molded planet sculpt things, which were kind of weird, but I guess nifty. Like you could hang them all up and they would look pretty nifty side by side. I'm going to go ahead and unbox this one and see what we've got here. Let's see, so opening it up, we've got the instruction booklet, which is the same as pretty much any other one. See from back in 2012. And I think all the pieces are going to be inside this planet thing here. Yeah, so you'll get like this Lego planet, you've got like studs on either side, which is kind of a really weird thing, and then you open it up and you've got one bag that has all your pieces, two bags with all your pieces in it there. So that's what you're getting with that one. I'll build all of these up in a little bit and look at the actual builds side by side. The next one we have here is from the Advent calendar of 2012. So it's kind of funny that they didn't release a single Naboo fighter mini until 2012, and then the year they finally did, they did two of them. But this one was set 9502, I believe. It was like day 7. It's like 11 pieces or so, so I specifically paid like an extra 10 cents to make sure this was like new in the sealed bag, and then they sent it just as parts anyways, so that's kind of disappointing. So again, subscribe so I can financially recover from that wasted investment. The next one we have is this here foil pack, I suppose you'd call it. These were actually, I believe, released only in Europe as part of like a magazine that's still running to this day. I think this one was from 2016, I believe. Yeah, if you look at it closely there, it should say 2016. But yeah, I just ended up getting this one from like an order on Bricklink. Someone just had it, like I was ordering other stuff and I saw they had it and I was like, alright, I guess I'll just pick this up too. Cool. And I actually believe this one doesn't have instructions in it. I guess I might as well open it up. But I believe that like the actual instructions were in the magazine, so I will have to look up a way to build it, or build it just by the picture on the front, because there aren't too many pieces. But so yeah, that's pretty much what you're getting. You just open it right up and you'll just have your pieces. No instructions, no minifigures or anything either. So that is that. Another one I forgot to kind of mention is 2018. Also had an advent calendar build. It's literally exactly the same as the 2012 one, like piece for piece. Kind of would have been nice to see a little bit different, but I mean, it's literally made of like 11 pieces, so I don't know what more you could really do. There's not much of a way to improve on a design that small. And it's kind of funny how it also came out on day 7, like in your advent calendar, day 7 of 2012 and day 7 of 2018 were both the Naboo fighter, and they're both exactly the same. So that is just kind of an interesting fun fact, I suppose. I didn't buy a separate one, like I only bought the one because I knew they were both the same. Like I parted them out and looked at it and I was like, oh, this is literally the same, so I'm not going to bother wasting another 85 cents getting another one. Next one, or I believe is the next one at least, would be the Microfighter, which technically isn't the same as like these mini ones, but I'm throwing it in here just because there's not that many to do anyways. This came out from 2019, I believe, January, but I could be completely wrong because I didn't bother to do the research on it, even though it would have taken 5 seconds. But this was part of the Microfighter series. I think before, like, we got a bunch that year. Like you can see on the bottom, we had like 4 or 5, and now we only get like 1 every year, so it's kind of a bummer. It's got this thumb tab you're supposed to push, but I'm just completely crushing the box, so I hate it. Let's just open it up this way. And you'll see inside there's probably just the one bag again, or there is 2. Every single time, 2 bags. And your little instruction manual, which is, again, what you'd expect. Just an actual booklet, not like the fold-out instructions. And lastly, at least as far as the official ones go, we've got this one, which is also from 2019. Which is why I'm not sure if this one came before the other one or not. I assume the other one came in January, and this came either at the same time or later in the year. But it's another polybag. It's at 30383. Make polybags great again, am I right? Like, we just hit these lame ones nowadays. At least this was actually pretty cool. But opening that up, there's obviously no bag inside of the bag because the thing itself is a bag. And then for the instructions, unlike the other ones, it's like one of these fold-outs. Or is it? Yeah. It's one of these instructions where it like folds out like a poster type of thing. So there's not much content aside from the instructions themselves in there. And then you've got your pieces. So let me build these up and we'll look at those side by side. So here's a look at them all side by side. I can't exactly do like a point system or compare them because they aren't exactly the same thing. As you'll see, like the advent calendar build is like ridiculously tiny. You'll see completely different size, like the cockpit. These are just like a 1x1 cheese slope, and this is like an actual one. Obviously, this one's a whole different thing that has like a minifigure. So I can't exactly compare them for any practical reason other than to just see them side by side and get them together and stuff. I will say that my favorite one would probably be the latest, like polybag one, just for the actual ship design. Although the one from 2012 I think was really cool that it came with the stand, a minifigure, the planet. It just seems like the best overall thing. Microfighter has its own appeal as well, just for people that like those. I do think it's weird that kind of for the Microfighter, like the space that he stands in is just like a 2x2 spot, so you can't even sit an actual minifigure in there. It just has to be this little Anakin, because it's like the kid legs that don't bend, so he has to be standing. That's kind of a bummer, although I don't know why you'd want to put someone else in there anyways. The one from 2012/2018 is probably the weakest one, but it's kind of just this pointless little thing. I guess it's easy to spin. It's always a good trick. As far as the actual builds and the piece counts go, the biggest one would be the Microfighter, including 62 pieces, including the minifigure. Then next up would be the planet one at 56, even though it's kind of unfair because it also has this whole stand apparatus thing in the planet. So as far as the ship itself, I'd assume it's probably closer to the next biggest one, which would be the 2016 one. It clocks in at 34 pieces. And then the smallest one here is obviously the advent calendar, which I believe had 11 when I counted it out. So yeah, obviously not a great amount of parts for any of those ones there, but that's kind of how many sets go. You're not exactly buying it because of the piece count. It's kind of just a little thing that you pick up just because it exists, I guess. However, the best mini Naboo Lego Starfighter is not any of these at all, but is in fact this here one, which is from Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga from 2007. It wasn't officially released as a set, but it was one of the mini kit builds from the game itself. So you kind of just have to like look at pictures of the game and build it. Actually, I think someone has like the designs for these on Bricklink Studio, and I kind of just looked at it on there and took it apart digitally and looked at the pieces and made it that way. So there are definitely different ways that you can come about that, but I think as far as like just the sleekness and the way it feels in your hand and just the coolness, like this has got to be the best one out of all of these for sure. It's a little bit bigger too, and of course just the nostalgia from the game. So I think it's definitely worth parting those sets out. A lot of those mini kits are actually really cool from 2007. So yeah, there's really not a whole lot to say about these. I just thought it was kind of cool with the Book of Boba Fett episode 5 or whatever. The Naboo fighter is kind of topical again in the scene, so I figured now would be a good time to put this out there. At some point I plan on doing like a complete compilation of like all the actual Naboo fighters, like maybe after like the Mandalorian one comes out. I do have the first one from 1999 and the one from 2007, like the actual sets, and I still need a couple more, like 2011 and 15 I think, as well as the UCS one, if you want to call it that, from 2002, which I don't know if I'll ever own that with what that one costs, but at some point later in the summer I plan on getting a video of like all of those and these and doing a more professional side-by-side of them. But I just wanted to get this one out there. So yeah, if you enjoyed, check out some of my other videos, like and consider subscribing, be among the first to help grow this channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.